There's
Offside?
one rule in football
I don't
that has
know.
started more
Help me.
arguments than anything else in the sport.
Offside! He was
It's
offside!
ended World Cup
Not
dreams.
offside!
It's
Never
made
offside!
grown men
Help!
scream at televisions. And here's
Let's
the wild
switch
part.
gears and talk
Most
about
people
football.
who watch football their entire
Notice
lives
the
still
offside
can't
rule
fully
here?
explain it. It's called offside.
I understand now.
And by the
Thanks.
end of this video, you're going to understand it better than half the fans in the stadium. So let's start
Just
with the
waiting.
problem this rule actually solves. Imagine you're playing basketball, but one player from your team is allowed to just stand under the other team's hoop the whole game. He never plays defense, he never runs,
The
he just
basketball
waits there,
repeatedly
and you
travels
throw him
in
the
an
ball
easy
for
arc
an easy
toward the
layup
waiting player,
every
who catches it
single
effortlessly
time.
before
That would
placing
be
it into the
boring,
hoop in a
right? It would also be cheating, basically. Football had the exact same problem. Without a rule to stop it, one attacker could just camp out next to the other team's goal, wait for a long pass, and tap it in. No skill, no build-up, just goal hanging. So football invented offside to ban that. Here's the core idea, and I want you to really lock this in. You can't be ahead of the action when the ball is played to you. That's it. That's the whole spirit of the rule. But of course, football couldn't leave it that simple. So let's break down what ahead actually means. Quick crash course. There are two teams. Each is trying to kick the ball into the other team's net, which is called the goal. The players who try to score are attackers. The players trying to stop them are defenders. And there's one special player who guards the net with his hands, the goalkeeper. Now picture the field as a long rectangle. Your goal is behind you. The enemy goal is in front of you. When you're attacking, you're pushing forward toward their goal. Here's where offside kicks in. An attacker is in an offside position if he's closer to the goal than the second to last defender at the moment the ball is passed to him. I know. That sounds like math homework. Let me fix that. Almost always, the last defender is the goalkeeper, since he stands right in front of the net. So, in plain English, you can't be standing behind the last outfield defender when your teammate passes you the ball. If you are and you get involved in the play, but stunt make offside, whistle blows. Goal doesn't count. Think of it like a line drawn across the field at the last defender. Cross that line too early, and you've broken the rule. Now, here's the part that trips everyone up, so pay attention, because this is where most fans get it wrong. Being in an offside position is not automatically a foul. Let me say that again, because it sounds backwards. You are allowed to stand in an offside position. Nothing happens. The whistle stays silent. It only becomes illegal at the exact split second your teammate passes the ball. That's the snapshot that matters. Where were you the instant the ball left your teammate's foot? Not where you ended up, not where you ran to. That one frozen moment decides everything. This is why you'll see attackers timing their runs like sprinters waiting for a starting gun. They want to be level with the defenders, then explode forward the instant the ball is kicked. A tenth of a second too early, and the goal gets wiped off the board. And we're talking tiny margins here. In modern football, they zoom in and check if your shoulder, your knee, even your toe was a few inches past the line. Players have had goals cancelled because their armpit was offside. I'm not exaggerating. The armpit. Now you might be thinking, wait, how can a referee possibly see all this in real time? Great question. Because here's something that'll surprise you. The main referee usually isn't the one calling offside. There are assistant referees who run up and down the sidelines, and their entire job is basically to keep their eyes glued to that invisible offside line. They raise a flag when someone breaks it. So the next time you see a guy on the edge of the field waving an orange flag, now you know, he's the offside police. But humans miss things. The margins are too small, so football brought in technology, and this is where it gets a little controversial. These days there's something called VAR, that stands for Video Assistant Referee. It's basically instant replay. They draw digital lines on the screen to check if an attacker was offside by even a hair, and it has saved correct decisions. But it's also driven fans absolutely insane, because goals now get cancelled minutes after everyone has already celebrated. Imagine cheering, hugging strangers, screaming your lungs out, and then a screen says, actually, his knee was 2 centimeters offside. Brutal. Okay, let's reset, because there are a few exceptions that'll make you sound like an expert at any World Cup party. First exception, you can never be offside in your own half of the field. The rule only applies once you've crossed into the attacking half. So if you're hanging back near your own goal, do whatever you want. You're safe. Second one, and this is a fun one. You can't be offside directly from 3 specific situations: a throw-in, a corner kick, and a goal kick. Don't worry about what all those are yet. Just know they're ways of restarting the game after the ball goes out of bounds. And in those moments, the offside rule takes a little nap. Attackers can stand wherever they like. Third, and this is the sneaky one most casual fans don't know, you can only be offside if the ball comes from your own teammate. If a defender from the other team kicks the ball and it lands at your feet, you're not offside, even if you were in an offside position. Why? Because the rule is about your team gaining an unfair head start. If the other team gives you the ball, that's on them. Now here's a question worth sitting with. Is offside actually a good rule, or does it ruin too many goals? Defenders of the rule say it keeps football beautiful. It forces teamwork, timing, and clever movement instead of just lazy goal hanging. Critics say modern technology has gotten too strict, canceling goals over a fingernail and sucking the joy out of celebrating. Both sides have a point. And honestly, that argument is part of what makes football so addictive. Even the rules are dramatic. Here's one last thing that might blow your mind. There's a sneaky defensive trick built entirely around this rule. It's called the offside trap. Defenders will all step forward at the exact same moment, right before an attacker gets the ball. So the attacker is suddenly caught past the line. They essentially set a trap to make the other team break the rule on purpose. When it works, it looks like a magic trick. When it fails, the attacker is one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and the whole stadium gasps. High risk, high reward. So let's bring it all home. Offside exists to stop goal hanging. You're offside if you're past the last defender when your teammate passes you the ball. The exact moment of the pass is all that matters. You're safe in your own half, safe on throw-ins, corners, and goal kicks, and safe if the other team gives you the ball. And being in an offside position only matters if you actually get involved in the play. That's it. That's the rule that confuses millions of people. And you now understand it better than most lifelong fans. Here's my final thought. The next time you're watching a match and a goal gets disallowed, you won't be the confused one in the room asking, "Wait, why?" You'll be the one explaining it. And trust me, there's something deeply satisfying about being that person. If this finally made Offside click for you, subscribe, because we break down every confusing part of football exactly like this, one simple piece at a time. The World Cup's coming, and you're going to be ready for it.